Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Team Adventurous. I hope you're having a fantastic motherfucking day. Happy September 1st. And for all of you who are like me and are frequently a sad and mentally disturbed boy, I got something for you. Let me share my screen here. I never have these things prepared because I'm a piece of shit. The Adventurous Suicide Canceled t-shirt. Look, I've talked about it before. I had a friend who committed suicide. Issues about mental health are profoundly important to me. It's something that I'm more or less dedicating my career and life's work to circling around and addressing. And death is a temporary solution to a permanent problem. And I mean that literally.
Yeah.
The suicide crisis hotline is right here at the bottom, 988. Suicide canceled. We plan on finding a charity that we can trust and respect to donate this month's proceeds from this shirt to. If we can't find a charity, we'll maybe try to find some other way to use the proceeds in a charitable and beneficial way to those in need. If you know a good charity, please drop it down in the comments. And without further ado, unless Caitlin has something to add to the video.
Just that this is only the first offering of this, and we will have actual t-shirts of this, and it'll also be in women's. Yeah.
Alrighty, so for those of you who don't know who the critical drinker is, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Exactly. What are you even doing with your life?
He released a video today, RRR, the best movie you've ever seen. And I've seen clips of this movie, but I've never seen the full movie. It's a Bollywood flick. So we're going to check out his review of it. And this guy's pretty fucking funny, so I have high hopes.
Yes.
Holy shit, man. If you'd told me that a 3-hour-long Tollywood epic drama movie featuring insanely overblown action sequences that take the laws of physics, gravity, and common sense and tell them to go fuck themselves.
That's pretty standard Bollywood, to be fair.
Yeah. It's like they bring cartoon physics into a live action format, which in some cases can be just really funny.
Oh yeah, I mean, so many things I've seen in Bollywood. Like, just type in to YouTube Bollywood action scene compilation or something like that, and just the insane shit you see in movies. It's so funny, but in an awesome way.
Yeah.
Describe as somewhat lacking in realism, crazy song and dance numbers intercutting the narrative that range from whimsical to poignant to fucking baffling, melodramatic revelations and betrayals that wouldn't be out of place in a Spanish soap opera, and portrayals of British people that make the Americans from Squid Game look like fucking Oscar-winning performances would ultimately turn out to be one of the most enjoyable, fun, uplifting, and emotionally satisfying movies.
Hang on. That was actually pretty dope.
One of the most enjoyable, fun.
The guy jumps over him. Guy somersaults over him. Guy fucking watches him somersault over him. Is like, this is a perfect time to shoot this motherfucker in the face.
Right.
Knocks an arrow.
Lifting.
And fucking shoots him in the face.
That is badass.
That's actually badass, bro.
Emotionally satisfying movies I've seen all year, I would have spat out my brandy and asked you what the devil you were all about, sir. And yet, there it is. RRR. Fuck it, I'm calling it RRR from now on. It's an absolute blast of a film that I'm extremely glad I finally made the time to watch. And before I start...
Did that dude just cock his...
blast of a film that I'm extremely
cock the dude's rifle? He did.
Yes, he did.
And I like, hey, shout out to the directors. They acknowledge that left-handed bolt actions exist, which I like.
Yeah.
I personally have to use a left-handed bolt action because, yeah.
I finally made the time to watch. And before I start gushing too much about it, I should preemptively caveat my review by saying that RRR definitely isn't a film for everyone. It's very much an Indian movie with all the implausible action scenes, elaborate song and dance numbers, and big melodramatic character moments to go with it. It's born from a very different culture. way of expressing itself, and your enjoyment is going to depend a fair bit on how open-minded you're willing to be with international cinema. But trust me, if you're able to embrace it for all its quirks and idiosyncrasies, then there's a really fucking rewarding story waiting for you. The film is...
I mean, not only am I willing to embrace quirks and idiosyncrasies, I personally think that some of the like tropes and cliches of Bollywood are absolutely hilarious and endearing.
Yes. Yeah.
Set in India in the 1920s during the height of British colonial rule. As part of the empire, the country's ruled over by British governors. The population are basically used as poorly treated servants and workers, and any hint of rebellion or talk of independence is ruthlessly put down by armed troops. To add insult to injury, the governor and his wife decide to visit a small village one day and con a local mother into handing over her daughter to become their property. This scene also marks the beginning of a recurring theme throughout the movie of the cost of a single rifle bullet and how it's too good to be used on the local people of India. And trust me, this has got a fucking great payoff at the end. Needless to say, this doesn't go down particularly well with the locals, and the village sends their resident guardian, Beam, to retrieve her. Word soon reaches the British that Beam is on his way, and that he's not a man to be fucked with. The problem is they don't...
He is not a man to be fucked with.
...really know what he looks like or how to stop him, so they recruit a ruthless Indian officer named Rama Raju to hunt him down, with the promise of a hefty promotion if he manages to bring the man in alive. Obviously, the two men are on a collision course, but as luck would have it, they end up uniting to save a young boy from a train crash in what has to be one of the most hilariously over-the-top set pieces in movie history. Seriously, I fucking love to know how Beam is able to interpret this complex multi-stage plan, all from this hand gesture, but fuck it, it doesn't matter. The point is that neither man is aware of it.
I mean...
Yeah.
Okay, okay, we're gonna go over the sides and trade the kid. Like, that part makes sense, but I didn't see the rest of the scene, so maybe there was a bunch more.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of stuff. And what's great about this too is they also write like this.
What do you mean?
Like super absurdist, surrealist.
Oh, you're saying the authors?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tensions, so in the wake of the spectacular rescue, they quickly become firm friends, and nothing else. Seriously, you can totally picture how modern Hollywood writers would interpret scenes like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is something I absolutely fucking despise. Oh my god, two guys are best friends. They have to be sucking each other's cocks.
It's like... Like, bring back platonic masculine relationships.
Right. In their separate objectives, while successfully hiding their intentions from the other. But naturally, it's only a matter of time before the truth comes out, and when Beam attempts a daring rescue mission to recover the girl, Rama discovers his true identity and intervenes to stop him. Now, you might think this is a straight-up case of good versus evil, with Rama acting as a traitor to his own people to satisfy his own selfish desire for power and success, and Beam as the scrappy underdog fighting to save an innocent life and free his people from oppression. But as it turns out,
that is the obvious interpretation. Yes. Go on.
The plot's a bit more complex than that, and at least one major character has got a much bigger objective driving their actions, leading to all kinds of betrayals, misunderstandings, and last-ditch attempts to make amends. Will the two former friends end up fighting to the death as their conflicting beliefs drive them apart, or can they somehow find a way to reconcile their differences and work together to take down their true enemy? I could probably spend hours discussing all the twists and turns in the story, some of which I actually didn't see coming, but honestly, I want to keep my plot synopsis as basic as possible because I really don't want to spoil this movie for people. Now, RRR is a difficult prospect to review because a lot of the normal criticisms I'd level at Western movies just don't apply in this case. The ridiculous over-the-top action scenes that would be laughable in any conventional Hollywood production are a fact of life when it comes to Indian action movies. The big
which again is just one of the most endearing aspects about them.
Best thing ever.
If you want to see what like absolute comic book nonsense would look like in real life, just watch Bollywood.
Yeah, or Kung Fury.
Oh yes, Kung Fury, Enter the Fist. I maintain one of the greatest works of art ever created, and you can't change my mind.
Yeah, but see, that's another reason why I liked it so much, is because it kind of followed this same format where, like, they do the most absurd things but take themselves, like, completely serious.
Yep. Yep.
Numbers that are used to underscore important moments in the narrative might seem completely alien to us, but they make perfect sense for this film's intended audience. Even the epic central storyline of friendship, brotherhood, betrayal, and redemption that verges on melodramatic at times is exactly how Indian
Verges? Verges?
filmmakers ideas. It takes all the familiar elements that you've probably seen in other films and ramps them up to 11, and the result is a movie experience that's gloriously vibrant, colourful, unashamedly over the top, knowingly tongue-in-cheek, and unapologetically awesome. The emotional tone can switch easily from light-hearted romance and buddy comedy to dark and sombre as men are forced to do terrible things in service of a greater good, to shocking and brutal as innocent civilians are mercilessly gunned down in their own homes, to a big old burst of cathartic rage as our heroes go on a full-scale rampage of destruction and revenge. It puts its characters into difficult positions and asks the kind of compelling moral questions that have driven storytellers for thousands of years. How many reprehensible acts can a person commit in service of a noble cause before they become no better than the enemies they swore to defeat? How much can man sacrifice to protect a friend? How much does the knowledge of a person's past alter your perception of who they are now? How far can you test the bonds of loyalty and brotherhood before they ultimately break? Remember when movies
Oh, that depends on the particular bond now, doesn't it?
dealt with universal ideas that everyone could find interesting instead of partisan political propaganda? I like that. All of this stuff is helped immensely by excellent performances across the board. Well, amongst the Indian cast at least. The English-speaking actors are, well, they try their best, but just like in Squid Game, it's pretty obvious they were cast from a limited talent pool in that part of the world. Although, fuck me, I never would have realised that was Alison Doody from Indiana Jones 3. But the two main leads are fucking awesome, able to switch from laser-focused and determined to friendly and jovial, while always staying consistent to their characters' goals and motivations. The script really takes its time to show you different facets of both men's characters, their pasts, their personal lives, their fears, goals, hopes, and ambitions. Their chemistry together is joyful to watch.
Right?
If I didn't know better, I'd swear these guys had known each other their whole lives. Jesus Christ, we could only wish for this kind of dedication over here. But if I had to level a few criticisms at the film, one of my biggies would have to be the pacing. At more than 3 hours long, RRR doesn't exactly deliver a concise narrative, and the first act in particular is a bit of a drag at times before getting to the real meat of the story. They probably could have shaved a good 30 minutes off the runtime and delivered a much leaner and better paced story. The film doesn't exactly provide a nuanced depiction of the British Raj either. They're just straight up evil, and that's the beginning and the end of it as far as this film's concerned. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to weigh in on the whole issue of colonialism and the British Empire, but I suspect the historical reality was a bit more complex than a bunch of mustache-twirling villains torturing and killing innocent civilians just for the fun of it. There's also a romantic subplot between Beam and an English woman that doesn't really go anywhere or have a particularly good resolution, and it kind of feels like the script should either have made it more of a narrative focal point or just not used it at all. These are flaws to be sure, and they hold the film back from the drinker recommends that I really wanted to give it, but they definitely shouldn't put you off watching it because fundamentally, RRR is a great movie that left me with the same positive, exhilarated feeling that I had after watching Top Gun Maverick. Yeah, it's very different from the kind of films we're used to over here, but maybe that's why.
I just can't get over the buddy riding buddy's shoulders.
I know.
Anime style fucking mech fucking thing that's being done here. Like literally, I shit you not, Kaiten. Literally, exactly this has been done in One Piece multiple times. I'm not joking. I'm not exaggerating. I'm being 100% factually literal. They've merged to create a fighting robot by just fucking dudes hopping on top of shoulders dudes and holding dude by the legs and just like this is anime bullshit we're seeing in a live action flick right now.
And I love it. I love it.
It appealed to me so much. It's proof, as if you even needed it, that quality stories really are universal, that they can transcend time, cultural, and even language barriers, unite us in our shared appreciation, and deliver just as much enjoyment to a drunken, cynical asshole in Scotland as they do to audiences on the other side of the world in India. And to be honest, I think we could all do with a bit more of that from time to time. Anyway, that's all I've got for today.
Go away now.
Yeah,
His sign off is so great.
it's amazing. But that's great. It's
Wow,
like, see,
man.
people, real creativity does live on somewhere else right now.
Oh, yeah. It's like, bro, it really says a lot, and I'm willing to bet that script didn't have 10, 15, 20 fucking writers. It was
No,
probably one, maybe two,
maybe two. Yeah.
maybe three dudes all sitting around going, you know, it would be awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas She Hulk takes fucking, what, 10 fucking writers to suck shit out of a donkey's asshole. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
just fucking
It's
end
just
it
a
there before I get
whole bunch of
absolutely irate.
wine moms coping so hard.
The cope is not, Caitlin. The cope is over 9,000.
But what I love about this is the fact that it's just a what I love about the whole Bollywood shtick, I guess you could call it, is the fact that it takes a very no fucks given approach to everything, and that it's just you can feel how passionate they are because of just how just artistically aesthetic they like to do everything, and it's just so saturated. It's like a whole bunch of painters and absurdist comedy people got together and were like, hey, let's make this thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah.
All right, everyone. We're going to see you tomorrow. Welcome to the adventure. Well, we might see you again in that. I don't know. We'll see you.
Yeah.
See you.
Yeah.